Welcome to episode 4 of the Ford Capri. And in this episode, we're going to change the wing on the front with the one that is in this large box, which I will not be driving through in this episode. We've got to do some lights work, and then we're going to take this iconic British coupe on the open road, on the highway, for the first time in 25 years. Before we do any of that though, we're going to go on a little road trip. We're going to take a lot of these large pieces of metal down to the head shop, and we're going to ask them very nicely if they can make all of these bits of metal one bit of metal. You know, stuff needs to happen like, I want this checked, I want all the sort of things honed and made all nice, I want the valves checked in here, I just want everything to be done. Realistically, I'm not experienced enough. I'm not an engine builder. A proper engine builder has got lots and lots of experience in equipment, everything that I haven't got. So I need these guys to make the sort of bare engine one for me. I can bolt a head to a bottom end, that's no problem at all. But I would prefer to have the head checked, skimmed, pressure tested, all that sort of stuff before I go and spend loads of money on like a turbo and things and turbo air only for something to be wrong. I don't know any of the history of this engine. I've never heard it run, never heard anything happen to this engine. So I would rather that they did it. And with, you know, decompression gasket and stuff, it'd just be nice if they could sort of have a look over it, make sure, and tell me if I'm doing the right thing or not. Do you know what I mean? Got lots of piston rings and stuff with it, and again, it's things like I'm not sure if these are the right ones. I didn't buy them, you know, so I'm just like, I'd rather they just sort of did all this for me, really. And then I can concentrate on fitting all of the other stuff to it and putting it in the car, attaching it to the gearbox, all of that sort of stuff. That's what I can handle. And there's things like these pistons here, which, you know, on the face of it look absolutely fine, but one of them somewhere, I'm sure, does have a big chip out of it. Can you see there? It's got a big chip out of it, so I don't think this piston's any good. So again, I need to source another piston. I don't know if you can see that better there, but yeah, I need to source another piston, and then, like, you know, I would rather they got involved with all that side of things. So I need to put everything that I think they're going to need in the back of the trusty Passat. Looks heavy. Looks really heavy. I'm not sure I can, on my own, you know, can I? This stuff's light enough though. There's also like an element of things that I didn't disassemble this. I wasn't the one that took it apart. And that means that upon putting it back together, I might not notice something's missing, or, you know, I just, because if with something like that, when you take it apart, it's just so much easier because you can remember everything and lay it all out. You know, like I did with the P6, for example. It's all very nice. If you haven't taken something apart, again, I just haven't built any of these. I'm not experienced enough to sort of be sticking it back together and go, oh, you forgot to put the valves in, you know, so it's just easier for them to sort of do it, because hopefully John's going to go, yeah, done millions of these, throw it back together, knows it inside out. Just better to do that, in my opinion. And you've also got things like this sump, which I would like him to take a look at and see if it's going to seal okay, because it's been welded and stuff, and I want to, you know, again, second opinion, just make me more comfortable before I do all of this engine work. Oh, that's handy, wasn't it? Some wheels. Okay. Do first, think about later. Oh God. Okay. Here is an example of why I'm taking all of this stuff to a professional to be done. This is all rust and crud that just fell out of this engine when I turned it upside down. It's not ideal. They've got machines and big baths that they can dump this in and just make sure everything's perfectly clean before putting it back together, which I haven't got. So I might be running it with all this inside it, which would be sad. So there you go. Nice. I think that's everything bar these pistons. There is some spare pistons from the Z-Tech that's in the other box over there. Maybe they'll come in handy. I don't know. We'll check with him. All the cars on the fleet do seem to have a purpose. And I think like going to and from the head shop is the Passat's purpose, and it does do it very well. And look, I know it's a little bit early on in the video to be discussing this, but I imagine my wallet is about to be molested quite heavily at the head shop now. So if you do fancy purchasing a lovely air freshener or t-shirt or hat, that would be very chill. And it would mean that I can eat as well as have engines built. Maybe to eat a little bit less. Okay, don't worry about it. Don't buy anything. It's fine. It's fine. It's fine. It's fine. Tesco's paid for it anyway. Put it on the credit card. Do you have to pay those things back? Not sure. There we are then. I've just dropped it all off. I didn't film any of that. However, I have talked to them about the potential for me, once they've got their head around everything that they've got, their head around the head, I've asked them if I can come in and do a bit of filming inside the head shop, making that engine good, which I think would be super, super interesting. And it's such an important thing, getting professionals like those to do it when you're as thick as me. Partly because we were talking about like the timing and stuff of the engine. Now obviously when you put a decompression plate in there, it's going to lengthen the block ever so slightly, which means, you know, you've got to think about stuff like timing and how it might throw things out. Will the belt fit? You know, with your pulley on the bottom, you know, you're going to have to get a different pulley for the bottom because you've extended, you know, there's loads and loads of things that we talked about then, which it hadn't even occurred to me. And there was also a few things that were missing that I'm going to have to buy, that again, you know, sort of I didn't really think of. And the piston that was cracked, he says we can't use one of the Z-Tech pistons. The rods are slightly different, and the piston's pressed on, so you destroy the piston taking it off, so we can't use anything from that, so we'd have to buy a new piston and have that put onto the ST170 rod, which again is just something you need a professional to tell you when you're me. So I'm excited. I don't know how long this is going to take. They said, how long do you need it doing for? And I said, look, just, you know, let me save up some money while you're building the engine. Do you know what I mean? I keep seeing signs on the side of the road here for juicy, freshly picked strawberries. Might stop and get some. I do like a strawberry. Look at this little setup here. Right, let's get some of this. They're a little bit on the small side, but these are juicy and delicious, as promised by the signs leading up to it. So tasty. And the little bit of 5W30 on my fingers from dropping the engine off really gives it that pep, you know, that zing. Some of them are really weird shapes as well. I do like a roadside strawberry. This one's got half a worm in it. Okay then, let's wing this wing on. Knife. A few people in the last Capri episode said, oh no, you bought a pattern wing, it's never going to fit. So I'm a little bit nervous to see whether this pattern wing will indeed fit this Ford Capri or not. It is a expressed wing. Well, I think it might be made by someone else. I don't know. Is that their company? Surely they wouldn't sell it if it doesn't fit, though. It's got all the right holes and stuff, I think. Looks nice, kind of nice. It's got quite a lot of deep scratches in it. It's fine. It's okay. Should have probably opened the bonnet first, shouldn't I? Looks good to me, like. I'd imagine, you know, round there and stuff. Yeah, all looks fine. It's got to go back a fair bit, hasn't it? Oh, maybe that's too far. Oh, okay. It's going to take a little bit of finessing, I feel. What's that gap like on the other side? Yeah, much smaller. Much smaller. So what I'm thinking of doing is essentially clamping it down where it looks good, and then we're going to drill a load of holes in it, and then hopefully that'll sort of, and we can put bolts through it, and that'll be better. I just thought I'd show you as well what Dickie's up to, because these are quite interesting. It's a fuel tank, isn't it?
Fuel tank is on, so that if there is a leak within the tank, it's within the outer tank.
Because it's got
water in it.
Oh, will that open?
Yeah, it will open.
Oh, that's a bit stiff. I think he's welded it shut. Yeah, full of water. Look, tank there, and the tank is inside, and then it's inside another tank, so if that tank leaks, it doesn't go anywhere, it just goes inside here. Which is interesting, isn't it? But it's not going to, because it's full of water.
It's environmentally safe.
Environmentally safe, was that?
Yes. So if it does...
Is that even after you've welded it?
After I weld it, because I'm welding on the top.
Yeah, nice. Lovely stuff. Just the day for it as well, isn't it? It's a bit fucking warm now, isn't it?
A bit warm. Glare off the steel because it's brand new.
Yeah.
But yeah, nice job.
Nice job. It's quite handy that it's black as well, that thing, isn't it? I don't even have to paint it. I was hopefully going to be picking a bonnet up for this tomorrow, but neither of the bonnets that I want on eBay are getting back to me. So annoying. Just like, you know, there used to be a time when people have phone numbers and things on there and you could just ring them, but nobody's got a phone number on any adverts now. So you've got to email eBay and then you just don't get a response. And all I want to do is pick it up. I've not said like, can you sell it to me for 50 quid or anything like that. I've just been like, can I come and get it? Zero reply. Anyway, right, so that's ready to go on there. That's fine. Those bolt holes down there. So we could get the bolts in there, couldn't we? At least that's a starting point. If only I had something to lie on. Okay. There's no hole for the side up here. Oh, fuck's sake, that's annoying, isn't it? Okay. Please don't fall on me now. Do you ever start a job and think, this is going to take forever? And it should take 10 minutes. And I should have probably done it on the ramp. I think I might have tightened these a little bit too much. Ooh. That sounded kind of nice. Oh, come on, it's so close. Bloody hell, that's pretty good, you know. That's pretty good. Just cutting a tiny bit off. Oh, yes. Just realised I've been wearing my nice microphone and the it wasn't plugged in. Not very good at this, am I? Okay, where's the screws for that? Got 3 things here that are doing impressions of screws, so we could use those until we find them. So realistically, I think this is probably going to take me the rest of this afternoon. So let me show you what it's like when I've done that. And it's on, and it's nice. Because it's going to be a lot of finessing. Sometimes it's sort of like hard to remember where you were 2 months ago when you last filmed something on the Capri. I've managed it though, and here's what's happened since then. The wing is now fully on, solid as a rock. Bolts along the top, bolts down there, bolts down here. Made a new little bracket for it there. All wants painting and stuff, but we're going to do that another time. But it's all very nice and solid. Put these bits back on. Had to do this indicator as well, and like this strip that goes along here, this rubber strip. Annoyingly, the inside of mine shat itself, and I don't want to like put self-tappers in it or whatever, so I'm going to have a look for a spare one of these on the internet. Indicators are all fixed in nicely. Got a couple of number plates to put on. Got to put the battery thing, holder, make battery hold good, not fall off, set fire car. So yeah, I'm going to start with this. Headlights around. Oh God, should I have done this before I put the wing on? Oh God. Will it go under there? Come on. Get in, you fucking thing. Bollocks. It's not my alarm going off. Oh, it practically fitted itself. Look at that, beautiful. Couple of screws in there, one down there as well. Interesting. Is that one there? That one's not even held on. Should probably do something about that as well. Look at the chodness of these things. Surely they're gonna work. Just finished filming the Focus episode. Oh, going in like a treat. Which was very nice, very good. Enjoying driving that round. Everybody seems to have liked the slightly more modern classic as well, which is fun. And a little bit annoying because the next car I'm resurrecting is from 1967. But I'm going to make that a bit of an epic one, I think. I'm going to try and do that a bit better, you know. Don't worry too much about all this hardware being all sort of 50 shades of grey and different sizes and types and stuff, because we'll sort that when I paint the car, which is going to be coming up at some point in the future. The mission of this video is purely just to see if this thing's road legal, because once we know it's road legal, we can start messing about with it. When you're faced with sort of two just sort of holes like this and you've got an unplate, it's like, how do you line it up, how do you make it all good? This is what I do. I mean, there's probably a million other ways to do it, but this is what I do, you know. I've now got those two holes mapped out on this tablecloth. And it just makes it a bit easier to measure where everything is, rather than trying to do it on there and transfer it to that. You just do it straight on that, rather than measuring that, then measuring that. It's like, well, you've got them right there, you know, just measure the distance and stuff. Make sure they're the same. Right, so these number plates are, call it 11 centimetres, so at 5.5 centimetres, that's where your middle is. And then it is 52 wide, so how many is that long? 26 is your middle. These two here, 23. What the fuck's that? 23, it's 11.5, isn't it? So, is that in the middle? 11.5. So we know that, as long as that goes there, God, I was pretty good with my guesses as well before. And if I can get the height dots, so that's the distance of the bumper. We know that that is the middle there, so I know that these two dots are equally far apart, which is very cool. 11.5 there. What do we do now? Forgotten. Tidy. Give it a little floss as well, why not? Get rid of any sort of schmackles on it. It is a white one for the front, isn't it? I can't remember. So then those holes should line up perfectly with those. They do. Couple of nice coloured screws, couple of backing little things for there, and screw it on. We need one vite, 2 screws, one black, and a couple of, where are they? These badgers will do to screw the screws into. Nice. Beautiful. Looks great. How am I going to paint this car? What am I going to paint this car in? We need to talk about this. I was just going to do it just a gloss black all over. Are we going to stick to that? Do I do something crazy? Do I paint it purple, orange? Keep it standard or make it unique? Let me know what you think in the comments. What do you want me to do? I feel like there's a lot of people out there keeping cars completely standard. I am putting a 2-litre turbo engine in this car though, so do we follow suit with how the car looks, or do we keep it completely standard? Keep thinking about it. Let me know what you think. Very elegant solution to the battery situation. There is actually a battery clamp, which is just brilliant, isn't it? Granted, I do still have to wedge a bit of wood there just to keep the thing in, but we will address that whole thing at a later date when we paint the car, you know, because I need to paint the battery tray. Do we relocate the battery when I do the engine? Do we want the battery? You know, there's all sorts of stuff that needs, so it's not really a problem. Let's just ignore it. Right, let's hook all this back up, and I think we're on to lights. I'm just going to quickly do all the levels again, put some water in the reservoir and stuff, and just generally make it, make sure it doesn't blow up on the 500-metre journey there. Levels are done. It's time to do some lights. And for this, I'm actually going to get it off the ramp so it's a bit easier to run around it, you know. Still quite a lot of work to do on this Capri, isn't there? You know. I still need to find a bonnet as well. This one's so knackered. A couple of things I know that don't work, which we need for the MOT, is the washer jets, and I know there's some lights that are on the blink. So let's just try and sort the lights out first, starting with indicators. Indicating. That's all good so far, isn't it? Nice. Other way. Nice. Very nice. Is this the hazard button, I wonder? I think it is. Yeah, that seems to be working. Have we got a horn? Oh, kind of. I'll say that's a yes. What else have we got over there? What's this? This is your headlights. Right, so side lights. On, although that one is slightly dimmer, I would say. 1, 2, yeah, 2. And then, is that headlights then? Headlight 1, no headlight there. Make sure it's not knocked anything off the back. Yeah, all good. For those regular viewers, do you recognise this battery as well? That was in the Focus, and like, I was like, I don't want to throw that away, I think it'll charge. And I put it on my bench charger for 2 days, and now it's perfect, and it's holding charge, and it's a good battery. Now I'm hoping, this is how you get to the things. I think that's the headlight bulb. Where the hell am I supposed to get one of those from? I guess I'm going to have to take everything apart again. That it's a weird headlight. You're not going to believe what it's like. It's not a normal one, I'll tell you that. Check this out. So it looks like a little 5-inch jobby, but look at all these gubbins. What the hell's going on there? It's got like a side light bulb there and then a headlight bulb. So it's essentially doing what these do, but all completely separate, because the twin headlight, this is the high beam, this is the big one, but they've just essentially made it really complicated. So I just want to have a little look, because that bulb doesn't look blown. And of course I haven't got any replacements of that bulb because it's a crazy special one. But is it just that it was a bad earth or something, you know? So you got your side light there doing its thing. Right, so that wire's okay. Is that wire transmitting power? Yes, it is. And it is earthing as well, so the bulb must have blown. Oh, nothing stops you in your tracks quite like this, does it? I hate not having stuff in stock. So I've got a box of those coming up to me, which is good. So I can sort of put that back together, really. Shall I do it? No, I'll do it when it comes. I'll put it all back together then. Let's have a look at the rest of the lights. So we've got a main beam missing here as well. Okay. Let's try and get that replaced. I need to get this bonnet replaced because it just consistently leaves delicious little cornflakes everywhere. Really annoying. Good job I've ordered a box, isn't it? Because I need another one. Right, you're going to have to shout these out for me, okay? Brake. Anything? Fog lights. Oh, does it have two? I don't know, but one's enough. Oh, haven't been in here for a while. Right, how do you get access to these? Oh, you just take the whole thing out. You don't go cut a hole in this bit of metal. No. Okay, screwdriver. Ooh, good way to remove fingerprints. I think I've sorted it. It was just like contacts are a bit crap. You can tell if it goes out. I think it's like an earthing issue. Contacts not touching. Bulb looked okay, so let's try it. I can see by the reflection in the tripod that I'm a genius. Okay, put this back together. That's all the lights sorted apart from the ones on the front which are waiting for bulbs for. Can see how this one's much brighter now as well. Nice. That's working. I was going to replace that and make them both equal, but these are toffee, so I'm not going to do that. When I paint the car, I'm going to have to strip everything off anyway, so we'll be cleaning and replacing all these bits, putting new seals on them and stuff, so it's just no point doing it now. I am going to change the number plate. I know this is a crime against humanity, however, I don't want it to fail on the number plate, and it is getting black in the middle and stuff, so it might be a case of number plates not good, fail, so it's just not worth the risk, is it, really? And the thing with these as well, they are nice original dealer plates. I am going to keep them if I decide to sort of do a, you know, make the car restored. I can get some replacement ones of these made up. I've got the front one, I've got this one. If I decide to do that, I can. You know, it's an option. Just giving that bit a clean with some brake cleaner. I'm going to use these sticky pads to hold it on. And the reason for why is that the screws that hold this in are real big ugly screws, and I don't want to use them. Took that off in a bit of a weird way. Anyway, there you go. I must have had these for so long that they are starting to go a bit weird. Hope that's going to be enough stickiness to hold this on, but I guess we're going to find out. Just completely eyeball that. Nice. If it falls off, we've got the other one. Nice. I've got some bits of interior and stuff to put back together as well. I've just been wax oiling all inside there. So I've got a few jobs to do like that. But the last big job is this. We do not have a washer pump. Who doesn't love a good old-fashioned wiring fault? These are the wires that connect to the washer pump. Red one and a black one, earth and a power. That is how all wires should be on cars. Anyway, over here, I've been looking through, I found this. This is a red and a black, and I was like, oh, okay. And it was taped in there, so I was like, oh, okay, what's up with that? And there's a bit of a sketchy connection there, but tested it, no continuity. So I was like, right, okay, what's that all about? And then I've sort of checked continuity on the black wire to a bit of metal on the car, and like, is there an earth? Does the earth still exist? And it does. And I'm like, right, okay, so I've got an earth, but I've got no power. So then it's finding out where the end of this red one, finding out where that goes to. And I was trying it on the fuse box by these here. No dice, didn't work on any of those, no continuity. And then I tried it on the spade connector just by sort of touching it down there on the spade connector, no joy. And then I tried to pull the spade connector off to find out what was guanning, and it just fell off. Now, that spade connector has been replaced in the past, and it's just sad, and all that is all corroded and nothing works. So then I tested the continuity between this after I'd cleaned it up a bit, and I've now got continuity to that. So if I put a new connector on that, connect it back up, potentially we might have a washer motor, which would be dead sick. Okay, send that into there. Still nothing. Why? What have I done to deserve this? I think the fuse box is bad. Let me show you. So, continuity to there, and continuity to there and there. So, power comes from that side, goes through the fuse, down, out into the connector. This is in the wrong place though. I'm just using this one here as a test to make sure that you're supposed to get continuity there. If I plug this into where it's supposed to go, continuity at the connector, but nothing on there. And I think, and if I go right down onto the sort of base there, I am getting some continuity, but it's not great, and I'm going right onto the base. So let's see if I pop this fuse back in, are we going to work now? there, but it's not very good. My bulbs arrived, so I thought because this wiring fault is being a little bit interesting. It's not doing what I want it to do. So I thought I'll do the bulbs. That side, fine. This over here, for some reason, I've just got, despite replacing the bulb, I've just got no main beam on this side whatsoever. So I've got another wiring fault to sort out there. Oh, God. I think the sort of, like this screw, come on. The problem is everything is really corroded. And something in between here and there is not working. Because I'm getting power to the cables, but not to the lights. There's nothing there, nothing there, nothing there. Doesn't look bad though, looks okay. If you're watching in America as well, and I appreciate you're probably shouting at the screen going, but you've got headlights, you've got three of them, what's your problem? Well, everything has to work before we can drive these on the road over here, if it needs an MOT. If it doesn't, then whatever, innit? But if it does need an MOT, you're pretty screwed. But for me now, it's a process of elimination. I know, well, I think I know that bulb's okay. That earth might not be, so let's use this little earthy job here and earth the base of the headlight to something we know is an earth, like the battery. And yeah, that's sort of not working really. So if we check the continuity just to make sure that we're getting a connection there, I've got the feeling the fault is in this headlight block connector thing here. Or not maybe. I've got to this old headlight relay wiry type thing. And I've just been in all the plugs with this, cleaning everything up. And I mean, yeah, it's not in the best shape. So I'm going to try and clean it up as best as I can. Put it back together and see if that helps the situation, because at the moment, nothing is really helping the situation. It's quite pleasant when that thing tears into the skin. I can hear the relay clicking as well, so it's doing something. Oh. Okay, cool. We are almost on for a winner. So connect that to that, and that into there. Oh. Okay, cool. Come on! Full ensemble of lights in the Capri, and she looks fantastic wearing them, doesn't she? Really good. I've still got to do this washer pump though. I just wanted to get that done, but thankfully that is now done. Cleaning up connectors, removing, you know, pieces of the puzzle that were pretty dead. I mean, just, you know, can you see the greenness? So getting rid of bits that don't work, cleaning up other bits. Nice, really good. What are all these wires for? Right, what I'm going to have to do is take half the car apart because I think it's potentially something this side. The stalk works well. The wiper bit of the stalk works, but no washers. I have got a little worst case scenario. I've got a little push plunge switch which I can mount down here somewhere out of sight and use that. Don't really want to have to modify things, though. It should work. These are the two plugs out of the back of these things, and all the connections and everything look really good. I mean, I'm still going to give them a quick clean up, but there's nothing else really going on in there that I need to worry about. I keep seeing this blue wire everywhere, and I've cleaned all these earths, by the way, but yeah, I keep seeing this blue wire everywhere. I don't know what it does. But yeah, so one of these red wires is going to be for the windscreen washer, so I'm just going to test it for continuity now over there. Despite my best efforts, done everything I can and still no good. I had continuity between there, absolutely fine. This not working. Potentially it's the switch, it's the stalk, so I'm not going to be able to get one of those in time to get this video out, so I'm going to put my little push button switch in here somewhere inconspicuous, tell the MOT man, and at least we'll get a you know, we're not going to fail on that. Bit annoying, but I've spent like 3 hours trying to sort this out now. That's too long. It's just too long. I need to do other stuff. I've got some stuff I want to clean up in this A post here, make it look a bit nicer, just in case he looks down there, you know. Hell of a day on the electric spanners, but as you can see by the water on the windscreen, if I push this button, wow, that one doesn't work, but that's, I don't know, it's inconsequential, isn't it? I think it's going to come back to life at some point. I hope, I pray. And you're quite simply not going to believe this, but come with me down here for a second. Yeah. All of the wiring for that switch is like standalone, so it can just be pulled out and, you know, the other stuff plugged back in. I've not modified anything, it's just a different set of wiring. I was thinking, where am I going to put this switch? I didn't want to drill a hole in anything. And then totally, like, what are the chances? But there was this cover here, obviously for an option that this car didn't have, that sort of, I don't know, where's it gone? That was sat like so. So I pulled it out, and it is pretty much exactly the right size for that. So I'm just going to fit that now, and we'll see how it looks. Look at that. That is genuinely, I mean, it looks like it could be factory for something. This armrest's quite comfortable for your head. Right, put everything back together under here. I think there's one more job for the MOT. Fords, if you see them online and they're like, this has only got 20,000 miles or 30,000 miles or 10,000 miles, always take it with a pinch of salt, because they've only got 5 digits on the speedo. So chances are they're not, they're on 110, 120, 130. I restored an XR3i a while ago. Really, really nice job of it. And a guy came down, picked up the car. How does that one come off? Took it away, said it was going to be for him and blah, 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 all this sort of stuff. It had done 129,000, something like that. Real nice restoration job. But if you look deep enough, you could tell that it had done that sort of miles. Anyway, I saw it a couple of weeks later up for sale again for about £2 more than I had it up for, and he was saying it only had 29,000 miles, which is a bit annoying. And the reason I'm saying that is that this has only done 32,000 miles, the whole car. there's a lot of ways that I can tell that's true. Partly the wear on everything, like the wheel and the seats and stuff, which, as you'll see in the other episodes, is mint. But also, this door. I'm trying to get the door code off because we've got to replace the mirror. And, like, none of this has ever been apart before. And I'm a little bit nervous doing it because it's so nice. I don't want to mess it up. I don't want to break anything. So, yeah. There's another thing as well. Behind it, there's some plastic, usually on doors. And usually, all that plastic's disappeared. And this looks like brand new underneath. Right then, I'm going to try and get this off without snapping anything. Everything's held in by Phillips screws as well, which is really handy. You literally just need a Phillips screwdriver to dismantle this whole car. Don't know how that was held in. It's just a push fit, maybe. Wow, look at that plastic. I mean, that is a low mileage car. You can see that's never been off. So cool. Don't even see this on new things. This is great. Really nice. So I'm going to do a couple of things under here. I'm going to have to take this plastic off, I'm going to peel it back and then put a bit of tape over it to hold it back on. I've got to get in there to get to these two nuts for this replacement wing mirror, which came with the car, and then put it on there. And the window mech is like really hasn't been used in a very, very long time, so I'm going to fill it full of grease as well and try and make it work nicely and smoothly. Much nicer, much better, all lubed up. Where are these bloody bolts though? My Halford's Advance 10mm ratchet spanner. Has just broken. Shite. Probably a good opportunity in the film to say thanks to all the Patreons that are on my Patreon. You can sign up and see extra content, like when I go and pick up all the revival cars and stuff and do extra things and bit behind the scenes stuff. But also, if you want to join up, that would give me a little bit of money and I can go out and buy some decent ratchet spanners which don't back up when I'm trying to fit a wind mirror at 6 o'clock at night. Okay, thank you. Wonder if it'll fail on this crack in the windscreen as well. Don't know. There you go, one out. Handy getting these spares with this car, isn't it, I suppose? Ta-da! Right, let's get my hand up inside there again and fit these. Nice, one. How's your evening going? Sorry this isn't a big new epic adventure, but I've got other stuff to do in the workshop, you know. Okay. Right, I've cut it like that so I can just put some tape around the edges. It'd be nice. How did I get that through? Oh yeah, like that. The doors are sort of really nice and solid, so while... What's that there? Can't be important. While this is off, let's just dump a load of this down there as well, you know. Nice, job well done. I've got that to put on, bit of carpet in the back. It's going to be the morning now though, because it's so late. And we'll get this thing down for a test. about to drive this thing on the road for the first time in 25 years, and she started running like a bit of a nail. I think it might just need some fresh fuel and a bit of a go, because it's not showing any fuel on the fuel gauge. I'll put a can in the back and we're going to try and make it to the petrol station. It's behaving itself now. Do I think this thing's going to pass? It's unlikely. The A post there, keep looking at it, could do with doing a little bit of work on it. There's a lot of other stuff in this car that isn't tested. The clutch doesn't work, but that's not an MOT failure. It's an old car, you know, we've got to be realistic. The windscreen, there's a few things maybe, you know. But I'm going up the road in it, this is nuts. We're going to take it to the petrol station first. I don't know if we're going to make it on the clutch. Slipping, it's having a good old slip. Things keep falling on me. I'm on the road in my Capri though. Oh, what's it like? Steering wheel's it's up there. Should be there. Okay, wow. I don't think the clutch is going to make it. Let's just go straight in. No, I've decided not to. We're going to go and get fuel. We're going to do it. Let's just take it slow and steady. Rev counter works. Gearbox feels awesome. You know, if you fail, it'd be nice if he says, right, it's failed on the windscreen, for example. It's like, right, okay, well, maybe we're going to do the body work and all that sort of stuff before we take it for its next test, you know, or whatever. It's just knowledge is power. Do you know what I mean? I wanted to get this thing on the road. I wanted to get it down for an MOT, and I'm interested to see how it does. It's annoying I can't go faster because the clutch going up a hill and it's slipping. Come on, baby. You've got another 5 miles left in you, surely. Oh. It's alright though. It's going to be okay, this car. As I said in one of the previous episodes though, it feels very like tight and solid on the road, you know, like not like these new Fords. It just feels good. It feels good. And I am confident that this is going to handle the horsepower I'm going to put through it. The Capri in the wild. Let's give it a drink. It's first drink from a proper petrol station in years. Bloody hell, it's expensive. Sounds great. Sounds really good. Clutch is right at the top and slipping. There is adjustment on this clutch. Not sure it's going to make any difference though, because the clutch is engaging, it's just slipping. What's this van driver doing here? What the hell's going on there? Oil pressure looks amazing, battery looks good, fuel, the fuel gauge is working, it's going up, that's awesome, it didn't have any fuel in it. Heat gauge looks like it's working as well, you know, everything's going. There's a part of me that if this did pass its MOT, because I've got a clutch for it, I might just do the clutch and then drive it round. See, accelerating is just, you've got to do it so slowly, otherwise the clutch will slip. I need to make it there, you know. .45 miles an hour. I think the problem is if I did do the clutch on it and drove it round, it would delay me doing the jobs that I want to do to the car. Do you know what I mean? Because I'd be like, oh, it's fine. Whereas if I didn't do the clutch, I can't drive it, so I'm sort of like, right, let's just get the work done, you know. We're doing 50 miles per hour. It's weird though, because the middle of me is here. Steering wheel slightly on the piss. Not like there's anything wrong with it, but just the design is just slightly over there. It's weird. Which one's the indicator? This one? Yeah. Could have probably done with carrying a bit more speed around that corner. It's comfy though. Like, this armrest's perfect. I can feel it. It's coming together. Can't find it, grind it. See, it's like the brakes and stuff, I mean, they've just not been used, so how good are they? I don't know. I don't know if I showed you how well I managed to get this wing to fit as well, but I mean, it's exactly the same as the other side. It looks really good. Bit tight down here maybe, but I'll adjust the bonnet to sort of close the gap on both sides, I think. What do you reckon? Did it pass? Did it fail? What did you put your money on? If you put it on fail, you've won. It's not too bad though. I mean, like, I kind of assumed that it was going to do a fail, partly because of that sort of driver's A-pillar that I just haven't done because it sucks. It's just a sucky job. So it failed on that bit of welding, which is not too bad. I don't think I have to take the wing off on that one. It's door off because it's only on the bottom of the sort of pillar. So that's why I've not really done it yet, because I just need to maybe do that when I do the other bits, like the bit on the roof and the bits around the windscreen. I don't know, maybe save it all for then. Near side headlamp aim too high. It's probably how I've put the headlight back in. I've probably not put it in square and now it's too high, so whatever. Anti-roll bar needs a little pin through the castellated nut. Fine. 2-second job. Brake hose, brake hose, brake hose. Needs brake hoses. Because the ferrule is corroded. The handbrake, no, sorry, the service brake is binding on this corner. possibly needs a bit of a run, don't know. Brakes imbalanced on the rear axle. Seat belt isn't working, near side rear. Doesn't matter, we don't sit in there anyway. And then brakes imbalanced on the rear axle. Minor for the windscreen. There's a big crack here. So not the end of the world, because the thing is, I can't drive it anyway with it sort of like it is with the clutch and stuff. So I'm not that fussed with the fact that it's failed its MOT. I wanted to get it down for a test for a couple of reasons. One, to, you know, if we get it through an MOT, it's just much handier to do everything else with it. But the other thing is, I need to know if there's anything else that I need to do. For example, the brake hoses. That's quite an important thing with the trajectory of this project, because if I'm doing brake hoses, what, do I just put standard brake hoses on it? Or do I put braided metal brake hoses on it? Do we look at a different, you know, brake balance on the rear axles instead of spending, you know, shoes and potential cylinders and all that sort of stuff? Do we put a disc conversion on the back? A lot of things to, God, the sun's lovely. A lot of things to consider. Cool. So realistically, this isn't a sort of fast, let's knock it out in 8 days, you know, type resurrection. This is a car that I'm building. This is something that is going to take a while to do. I'm also, this might come as a shock, not a millionaire. You know, I'm not Matt Armstrong. I haven't got a team of people and I can just send a car off somewhere to be built. I can't do any of that. This is all me, my own 2 hands and my own money. And some of your money as well. Thank you very much, Patreons. So look at all this stuff, right, that we've got to do. The biggest expense here, the engine swap. It's down at the head shop at the moment. I'm expecting a bill for that soon. I don't know how much it's going to be. They haven't told me, which is the biggest worry. But, you know, you see, hopefully they're going to look after me. So I don't really want to spend loads of money until that engine's over there on an engine stand and sort of ready to go. And at that point then I can go, right, that cost me that much. Let me save up some more money and I can start buying other things, such as I've got to get a windscreen for it, scraper seals, the brakes with the brake hoses. Do I pie all of that stuff off the back axle? And do I do a disc conversion? I mean, the cheapest disc conversion I saw was about 450 quid, but it would be loads better than the old drums that are on there now. I mean, you don't get loads of sort of braking at the rear anyway, but I'm thinking every bit of it is going to help when I've got, you know, quite a big turbo engine in there. So it is something I'd really like to do, and it will save those MOT related issues. So braided brake hoses, rear disc conversion, I mean, that's, you know, it's quite a bit of cash there and time to do it all. Suspension, what am I going to do with the suspension? It's got pickup truck suspension on it. It's got leaf springs on the back. So again, I'm going to have to do a bit of research into that. If you've done any sort of suspension stuff on Ford Capris, what have you done? You know, if you're watching this, is there any leaf spring conversion things to coilovers? Is there anything like that? Let me know. I would be interested. The suspension's probably all right. I don't really need to do anything to it, but maybe I'd like to, you know. Rear diff, it's got to have an LSD in it. I don't want to be leaving, you know, one wheel peels everywhere, one tyre fire down the road. Fuel tank, we've got to look at sort of fuel pumps, fuel system and stuff, and the ECU electronic side, the mapping, mating this thing to the gearbox. Hopefully I've got a load of parts that are going to work over there and it's not going to be too bad. But as you can see, there's so much time and work to do. Plus, I've got to weld that A-pillar that it failed its MOT on, the boot hinge at the back, and the windscreen surrounds. And then I've got to paint the whole car. What I want to know from you is what here, you know, what's sort of any ideas for any of this stuff? Should I do the rear disc conversion, all that type of thing, you know, give me your thoughts on that stuff. But mainly, what do I do with the paintwork on this car? I'm going to be getting there soon. This isn't a thing that, you know, it's probably going to be another year before, you know, I'm anywhere near getting this down for another MOT. What am I going to paint the car in that time? You know, this is probably going to be something I do over winter or something. It's a big old project to paint that Capri. My heart says do it some sort of metallic dark green, like a Mustang dark green or something, you know. I'd love that. But the other bit of me, the brain bit, is saying just do it standard, do it a 1.6 laser so it looks exactly like a 1.6 laser from the outside apart from the exhaust. Which, oh yeah, that's another thing as well, exhaust. Yeah, that's going to be another probably 700 quid or so, isn't it? So let me know what you think. Do we keep it as a standard looking car, bit of a sleeper, 1.6 with, you know, 300-400 horsepower? I mean, that would be a lot of fun. Maybe we'll do that. And if I did keep it the same as well, I wouldn't have to paint the boot. That's one bit I would keep with the original paint, because the original paint will clean up mint. So anyway, as you can see, there's a lot to do. It's not a 2-minute operation. And look, you know, I do like to sort of make videos where it's got a beginning, a middle and an end, and you know, we get the car in, we fix it, and it goes out again and it's all finished and it's great. I do like doing that, but I also like to have something like I did with the Mini in the corner, just being worked on a long-term project. So I know you all want to see loads of episodes on this, but I can't afford to buy the stuff to do the episode that I need to do straight away. So it's going to take me a few months between episodes. So just letting you know that. Because I've got, you know, so much other stuff I'm doing, I can't sort of just concentrate on this one thing, you know, which is going to be a huge money sponge. Doesn't matter if it takes a year or two to do, because it's going to be worth it in the end. And it'll be one of my dream cars. That's the other one of my dream cars there. That cost me, probably owes me, did a full engine rebuild on that F250, you know, that probably owes me 12, 13 grand. I didn't do that overnight, you know, it's going to take a while. So there we go. And look, I hope you've enjoyed this episode, because we've done a lot, got a lot of stuff boxed off, got a list from the MOT place, you know, we know where we're up to. The engine's down at the head shop. I'll let you know. Well, I'll tell you what we'll do. We'll do another episode when that engine's finished, of getting it back here and having a look over everything, and hopefully a bit of an update on where we are on stuff. And I'll see in my own time if I can do some of the welding in between then. So yeah, great. Thanks very much for watching. If you've enjoyed it, hit the subscribe button, because if you don't hit the subscribe button as well, you're not going to see when this is finished. And it's going to be amazing when it's finished. I'll take it to the Nürburgring and blast everything away momentarily before I wrap it round some Armco and ruin all that money and hard work. Okay, see you soon. Bye. Oh yeah, I forgot to write down bonnet as well. Need to put a bonnet on it. I'll go and write that on the board in a second. There's a car down there which I'm going to be working on shortly. The mother of all mothers is turning up here shortly in her car as well, and I'm going to start another video on that because it's MOT time. Oh God. And there is also another big expense looming, which you'll see a video about soon, but it's all to do with the floor out here. The floor with the floor. So yeah, that'll be out soon, maybe a couple of months, but that's a huge expense. So everything costs money, doesn't it? Including that. Right, I'll see you in the next video, next Friday. Don't know what it's going to be, can't wait to find out. See you then, bye. Oh God, what am I going to do with the rest of my night? Well, if you want something in the background, I do a podcast with my friend WYNNE, who is an ex-RAF sort of maintenance pilot or test pilot. He used to fly all the sort of Hawk jets and stuff like that, really cool things, just to make sure that they weren't going to drop out the sky when he gave them back to the people who used them to shoot the bad guys and things. It's very entertaining. We talk about everything to do with cars and planes and lots of other stuff in between, and just like behind the scenes of things here, what I actually feel about, how I actually feel about some of the cars and stuff that I do. So yeah, it's pretty good. If you would like to watch it, go to the description of this video. The link is there. Click on it, watch it. If it's good, then subscribe to that. It's called the Wheels and Wings Podcast. And yeah, there's quite a few episodes for your entertainment. So give them a go, give it a try. Bye.
Or an immaculate MG midget with the big, horrible big rubber bumpers. And it sold recently £3,500.
That's what I'm talking about.
No.
That's what I've got written
Are you
down
joking?
there. That's what I've got written down there. And a few other examples.
£3,500.
Well, it was actually
over
£3,262, including fees.
including fees.
Including fees.
I
So
saw-
yeah,
That blue one.
that blue one, amazing. Yeah. So I think that maybe the clip's sort of gone, you know, big of sort of what it was, because it's just like for nothing.
Yeah.
It's for nothing.
And that's a beautiful little classic car.
Beautiful.